The first time I saw her, I thought I was hallucinating. The air shimmered like a heat wave, and then she stepped out of nothingness. Her skin was a soft, iridescent blue, glowing faintly under the pale moonlight. Her eyes were large, almond-shaped, and a deep violet that seemed to pierce through my soul. She was tall, slender, and her movements were fluid, almost otherworldly, because, well, she was otherworldly. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. I was alone in the middle of the woods, miles from the nearest town, and here stood an alien girl, staring at me with an expression I couldn't quite decipher. Curiosity, fear, hope, maybe all of the above. "You're real," I stammered, my voice barely above a whisper. She tilted her head, studying me like I was some kind of exotic specimen. "You're my first human," she said, her voice melodic but with an odd, echoing quality. "I'll follow your lead." I blinked, trying to process her words. "You're first." "First what?" "First human," she replied, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. "I've been observing your kind from afar, but I've never interacted with one. Until now." I swallowed hard, my mind racing. This couldn't be real. Aliens didn't just show up in the woods and start talking to people. And yet, here she was, standing right in front of me, her presence undeniable. "Why me?" I asked, my voice trembling. She took a step closer, her movements so graceful it was almost hypnotic. "You were different. I sensed something in you. Kindness, curiosity. I thought you might understand." "Understand what?" "Me," she said simply. "My purpose here. My mission." I stared at her, my mind spinning. "What is your mission?" She hesitated, her violet eyes flickering with something I couldn't quite place. "To learn," she said finally. "To understand your world. And to decide if my people should make contact." My breath caught in my throat. "Make contact. As in, officially." She nodded. "Yes, but I need to know if your kind is ready. If you can be trusted." I didn't know what to say. The weight of her words was overwhelming. She was talking about first contact, an event that could change the course of human history. And for some reason, she had chosen me to guide her. I don't know if I'm the right person for this," I admitted, my voice shaky. She tilted her head again, her expression softening. "You're the one I chose. Trust your instincts, human. I'll follow your lead." Over the next few days, I introduced her to the world as I knew it. I took her to the small town nearby, keeping her hidden under a hooded cloak to avoid drawing attention. She was fascinated by everything, the way people interacted, the technology, the food. She marveled at the simplicity of a cup of coffee and the complexity of a smartphone. "Your world is so chaotic," she said one evening as we sat by the lake, watching the sunset. "But there's beauty in it. A kind of raw, untamed energy." I glanced at her, her iridescent skin glowing faintly in the fading light. "Is your world not like this?" She shook her head. "No. My people live in harmony. Everything is orderly, predictable. But there's no spontaneity, no passion. Not like here." I smiled faintly. "I guess chaos has its perks." She looked at me, her violet eyes searching mine. "You're different from the others I've observed. You see the world in a way they don't. You appreciate its imperfections." I shrugged, feeling a little self-conscious. "I guess I've always been a bit of a dreamer." "It's a good quality," she said softly. "One my people could learn from." As the days turned into weeks, I found myself growing closer to her. She was curious, intelligent, and surprisingly empathetic. She asked endless questions about human emotions, relationships, and our history. And in turn, she shared bits and pieces of her own world, stories of her people, their technology, their way of life. But there was always a sadness in her eyes, a weight she carried that she couldn't quite explain. I tried to ask her about it once, but she just shook her head. "It's complicated," she said. "There are things I can't tell you. Not yet." I respected her boundaries, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to her mission than she was letting on. One night, as we sat under the stars, she turned to me with a serious expression. "I have to make a decision soon," she said. "Whether to recommend contact or not." I felt a lump form in my throat. "And what are you thinking?" She hesitated, her gaze dropping to the ground. "I've seen so much beauty in your world. But I've also seen the darkness, the violence, the greed. I don't know if my people are ready for that." I reached out, gently taking her hand. Her skin was cool to the touch, but there was a warmth in her presence that comforted me. "We're not perfect," I admitted. "But we're trying. And if your people could help us, maybe we could be better." She looked at me, her eyes filled with a mixture of hope and doubt. "Do you really believe that?" I nodded. "I do. We just need a chance." She was silent for a long time, her gaze fixed on the stars. Finally she spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'll recommend contact." My heart leapt, but before I could say anything, she continued. "But there's something you need to know. My people, they're not just observers. We've been watching your world for a long time. And we've seen the damage you've done, to your planet, to each other. If we make contact, it won't just be to share knowledge. It will be to guide you, to change you." I felt a chill run down my spine. "Change us how?" She looked at me, her violet eyes filled with a sadness that broke my heart. "We would have to take control, to ensure your survival, and the survival of your planet." I stared at her, my mind reeling. "You're talking about taking over?" "Not in the way you think," she said quickly. "We wouldn't harm you. We would help you. But it would mean giving up some of your freedom, some of your autonomy." I swallowed hard, the weight of her words settling over me. "That's a lot to ask." "I know," she said softly. "But it's the only way. Your world is on the brink of collapse. If we don't intervene, you'll destroy yourselves." I looked away, my mind racing. Could I trust her? Could I trust her people? And even if I could, was this the right thing for humanity? In the end, I didn't have the answers. But I knew one thing: I trusted her. And if she believed this was the only way, then maybe it was worth considering. "I'll support you," I said finally, my voice steady. "Whatever you decide, I'll stand by you." She smiled, a genuine radiant smile that lit up her entire face. "Thank you," she said. "You've given me hope, human. More than you know." The day she left was one of the hardest of my life. She stood in the same spot where I'd first seen her, the air shimmering around her as she prepared to return to her people. "Will I see you again?" I asked, my voice trembling. She reached out, gently touching my cheek. "I hope so," she said. "But no matter what happens, know that you've changed me. And I'll never forget you." And then, just like that, she was gone. Months passed, and life returned to normal, or as normal as it could be after meeting an alien. I often found myself staring at the stars, wondering if she was out there, thinking of me. And then one night I saw it. A light in the sky, brighter than any star, moving in ways no human craft could. My heart leapt as I realized what it was.